Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. So today we'll be taking a look at the Fossil Sport Smartwatch, the latest Wear OS smartwatch that Fossil has to offer. And I had previously planned on buying the Huawei Watch GT, but when I found out that it was running a different operating system, I decided to go for the Fossil Sport instead, and so here we are. I have been using the Fossil Sport for a little over 3 months since December, and it has been performing well, but there are a few things that could have made this better. The Fossil Sport is a very stylish smartwatch that comes in multiple colors, and I wish it came in all black because the gray one shows signs of wear real soon, since the scratches are more noticeable on the aluminum body. Compared to the Huawei Watch Sport, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I prefer the overall look of the Huawei Watch Sport over the Fossil Sport. There's just something about the black coating on the ceramic bezels that makes the watch look stunning. So let me know your thoughts below. So the Fossil Sport comes in a 43mm and a 41mm watch case, and I went with the larger one. And my first impression of the watch is that it's an incredibly lightweight and comfortable watch to wear. The interchangeable 22mm watch band is very flexible and adjusts nicely on your wrist. It's so comfortable that I haven't had the need to try out any other watch bands, and it's easy to clean from any stains. The Fossil Sport has a 390 by 390 OLED 1.2 inch display with quite thick bezels surrounding the circular display. It's not noticeable when you have a black background, which I normally have, but for the video I'll have a different background so you can get a good look at the bezels anytime in the video. The display looks really good, the colors pop and the blacks are really black when you are navigating throughout the watch, and I tend to forget about the thick bezels. The watch has very good viewing angles, and the ambient mode is bright enough to see the time. There isn't really that many watch faces pre-installed, at least not appealing ones to me, so you'll most likely have to download some third-party watch faces. I really like the pre-installed watch faces that came on the Huawei Watch Sport, and if only I could get them on this watch, that would be pretty cool. So the Fossil Sport has the latest Snapdragon 3100 processor, which is slightly faster over its predecessor, the Snapdragon 2100. It has 4GB of internal storage for apps and music that you can download to the watch, and it has 500MB of RAM. Something that I noticed right away on this watch is that the storage is still the same size as on many of my other previous smartwatches. It got full real quick. The watch told me that it had insufficient space to do app updates, and it turns out there are several hidden apps on the watch that are taking up some space, and I have no way of deleting them because they don't show up on the watch, just on the Wear OS app on the phone. So the Fossil Sport has a pretty accurate heart rate sensor which measures your heart rate throughout the day consistently. It also has NFC for Google Pay, independent GPS, and a microphone but no speaker. It has a rotating crown which is enjoyable and makes scrolling easier when you have wet fingers, but an issue I encountered with this is that the crown is a little stiff and at times it stops working, and this has happened to me 3 times so far. The crown also kind of gets stuck pushed in and I have to fiddle with it to get it fixed. The top and bottom dials are customizable, and you can set them to launch any app that you have downloaded on your watch. I have the top one set to launch Fit Workout, and it launches it very quickly, so no waiting around for it to load. And you can press the top button again to go into strength training to have it automatically detect your workouts. I have the bottom one set to launch Google Pay, and what I love about this watch, or more specifically the Snapdragon 3100, is how fast it can launch Google Pay on the watch. Unlike on the Huawei Watch 2, where I had to pull it up when I was the second person in line to pay, now I can launch it on the spot and it pops up quickly. So I've been using my watch wherever they take Google Pay and has not let me down once till this day, and hopefully it keeps it up. The performance of this watch is good, but far from perfect. There are instances where it's laggy, and it was faster than the Huawei Watch Sport at first, but now that the Huawei Watch Sport also got the Wear OS 2.3, it has gotten much faster since the time I reviewed it, and sometimes it's faster to load some apps than the Fossil Sport. It does have 760MB of RAM compared to the 500MB of RAM that the Fossil Sport has, so that does help a little. Now pulling up Google Maps still takes quite a while to load, and it's slightly faster than on the Huawei Watch Sport by about 3 seconds, and the location accuracy has been good. So what I really like about the new Wear OS update is that you can easily see your upcoming events, deliveries, and purchases at a glimpse right from the Google Assistant panel on the left, and that has proven itself very useful to me. So getting the watch to charge is very fast and simple. I don't have to fumble around with it, and it can charge in any orientation. The bottom of the watch has 2 circular metal strips that connect to 2 magnetic pins on the cradle. The idea is great, implementation seems to be okay so far, and I say this because of my girlfriend's Fossil Gen 4Q Venture. The ring started to fall off after 5 months of ownership, and fell off completely 2 days after this video clip was shot. I'm sending it off to get fixed, and this is a good time to see how the customer service is with Fossil. So I'm running Wear OS 2.6 and have yet to receive the H update, which I was hoping to get before I released this video to see how much it improved in battery life, if at all. But I'll just update you guys in the comment section when I get it. So the battery life with the Fossil Sport with the current software is eh. I was expecting more from it because of the second low power processor, but sadly the most I have gotten out of it is a day of usage on a full charge with only about 15% left by 10 PM. And this consists of having always on display turned on, replying to text, checking and dismissing notifications. I recommend keeping Wi-Fi turned off when you're not home because it drains the battery quite a lot. It turns it on automatically when you set it on the charging cradle, so you have to manually turn it off when you remove it, and it does this to check for updates. On the days that I go to the gym, I like to have Google Fit running in the background to automatically track my workouts. For about 1 hour running in the background, it depletes about 25%, so you have to make sure you give it a good charge before you head out to the gym if you want it to last if you're using the Google Fit app. The detection is accurate and I hardly ever need to adjust the reps. The center dial does press into the back of my hand on certain workouts, so I do have to keep it below my wrist bone where it's recommended to be kept for a more accurate heart rate reading anyways, so it works out. I can get a day and a half of usage when I have the always on display turned off, and with that it gets the same amount of battery life I got with the Huawei Watch Sport while having the always on display turned on. The Huawei Watch Sport does have a 450 mAh battery, which is 100 mAh more than the one powering the Fossil Sport, but still, the Fossil could have done a little bit better with the second low processor in place. So overall, coming from the Huawei Watch Sport, I was expecting the Fossil Sport to be much faster and have a better battery life with the new improved Snapdragon 3100, but it doesn't seem to be that far ahead in performance after the Huawei Watch Sport received the Wear OS 2.3 update and that software became more optimized and improved the speed of many smartwatches. The Fossil Sport is a good option if you're looking for a small watch that is comfortable, lightweight, and that will suit most outfits. It's been fast, responsive, and throughout my usage it has been reliable. Okay, so that concludes today's review. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for more tech related videos, and I'll talk to you on the next one.